Stay tuned for this episode of The Intersection. We got the guys from Urethane. Hey there, welcome to The Intersection, where life and art collide. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And on today's show, we're lucky enough to have the guys from Urethane. Guys, could you do me a favor and introduce yourselves quick?
I'm Tim. Saw dude.
I'm Mario.
Dylan, nice to meet you.
So how long have each of you been in the music industry, and how long have you guys been together as a band now?
Well, so
who's gonna go first?
I'll go first. I have been touring and playing in the music industry for a little over 15 years. I'm playing for 26, 27 years. And then for Urethane, we have been running since we started in the summer of 2020 and really got running in the early months of 2021.
I've been playing in bands since I was 11. I'm 46. Started touring when I was 15, so I've been in it for a long time. And I've been with Urethane for a few months now. I'm a new dude.
Mario started yesterday. I've been playing for, I don't know, 20 years, but nothing really that no band that was like doing anything special, just kind of jamming with friends and stuff. And then in like, I don't know, 10 years ago, started playing in a local band called War Fever, who is still playing today. And then I met Steve, and I left them in 2020 and started Urethane. Met Dylan, met Chad, and the rest is history.
Well, and as you mentioned, so everybody knows probably Steve left the band, one of the founding members, and Mario the replacement. And when it's still a relatively new band as far as band's concerned, 6 years, and being COVID band, like quite a few that I know, quite successful COVID bands actually started during the pandemic. You guys are all older guys, you're experienced, you've been in a lot of bands, so the band's of an amalgamation of who you all are and come together as. When it's still a relatively new project like that, and you have a founding member leave, was there ever like a time where you're like, do you ever question if you're going to keep going? Because it was still pretty new compared to other projects you've been in.
No, I mean, I personally never questioned if we were going to keep going because the three of us, me and Dylan and Chad, have a pretty strong chemistry when it comes to songwriting. So that backbone was still intact. And as far as the day-to-day with the band, it's mostly me and Dylan that do a lot of that. So when this happened a few months ago, we were already, 10 songs into a new full length. So, there was never a question that it was going to stop.
So, for Mario, for you, did you have any issues stepping into an already established band, and especially with one of the more well-known members being gone now? Did you have any issues? Did you have any hesitation coming on?
Well, first of all, it's crazy because I've been shooting all Urethane's music videos from the start of when they started, right? And I also played in other bands in the town in San Diego. So when I saw that Steve left the band, I didn't even think about anything, I was doing my stuff and I was like, oh, bummer, Steve left, whatever. And in fact, I would even tell other guitar players that I knew, I was like, hey, Urethane's looking for a guitar player, I could probably put in a word for you. And then as soon as they hit me up, it kind of made sense. I was like, why didn't I even think about that? It was like, because they hit me up months after. I was in New Mexico actually doing a show with another band, and Tim hit me up. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about joining Urethane?" I was like, "Oh, dude, it makes perfect sense." And yeah, I was just like, "Let me think about it," because I have other projects going on. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, yeah, I'm totally down to do it. It just fits right, and it's kind of circling back to like the style of music I started on, you know. So it's cool to bring, because I'm also a songwriter too. It's cool to bring like all my influences and what how my writing style's here, and it's meshing really well. Like I feel Tim and I we write really well together, and the new songs are just like they're bangers, I think.
Thanks, buddy.
That's awesome. I love that because it's another example of Gen X imposter syndrome. I think we all get that, especially in any part of the music industry, entertainment industry. We're friends with everybody in the network and stuff, and like something will come up and we'll be like, huh, who do I know for that? Then someone will be like, you'll be like, no. Oh, wait, yeah, I can't do that. And we forget that. So that's cool that you're looking for, oh, I wonder who could fill that position, and you're the one that needed to do it. That's so cool to see. I love that.
Yeah,
We were super lucky that Mario was available and down to do it, because he, like he said, he's a perfect match for what we're doing. And we already knew him. It was just like pretty seamless.
Yeah, it made the transition
I felt like I was already
a whole
part
lot
of the
less
band.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that had to make the transition real easy. So how long had you been worked with them or known them before actually joining the band, or before you were asked to join them?
I met Tim and Chad. I filmed a music video for their band War Fever in 2000. When was it? 2018 or 19 or something.
Something
And
like
then when they started Urethane, they hit me up, and you know I'm a skateboarder, so like I've been skating since I was a little kid. And as soon as like they're like, yeah, we're playing with Steve Caballero, I was like, no way, that's so rad, because I grew up on Pal Peralta. But yeah, I've done all their music videos for Urethane since the beginning, except for Wyoming's the only music video I didn't do. But I was already felt like close with the guys because I already knew them previously from not only like doing their videos, but our bands playing shows together in the scene and whatnot. So yeah, I've known them for now, I guess, like 6-7 years, going on something like that.
Yep.
So funny because
Mario's really good at audio visual making videos and stuff. So like when you're saying that whole punk rock community thing, it's funny because we kind of missed what was right in front of our face for a little bit. I mean, we were kind of going through this, you know, post breakup period. So like we were dealing with that, but also like trying to figure out what the next steps were. And we had this like short list of people, but then I think it was Chad who brought up Mario. And I remember just thinking like, dude, of course, like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I was stoked because, like, I've always wanted to be, you know, I was always the guy in the bands that would book all the tours, do all the content, do everything. And now, like, joining Urethane, Tim and Dylan also do like, they already do the stuff that I was doing for other bands. And I can help them with, like, you know, adding on to all this stuff. But also, they tour a lot. They tour these, like, I've never toured overseas, and that's been, like, a bucket list for me for a long time. So now that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna actually be able to, like, I think I'm gonna have a chance to do this now, is also like super stoked on that. And yeah, I'm just lucky, dude, and like I was in the right place at the right time.
I love how genuinely happy you are, Mario. I love seeing that because it's a lot. Well, it's a lot of fun too. Because like I'm a marketing guy, so I've been promoting bands for over 30 years. All my friends were musicians. I wasn't good enough to be back then, so whatever my friends were doing, I was promoting. I was putting up flyers, whatever I could do. And then it was always, you know, then I was growing, you know, get more talent and stuff. I was always doing, you know, I still do. I own a marketing agency. Almost all my clients are bands. And then when I have my own project, you forget how fun it is when you get to do the stuff for your own stuff. all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I could do this for me too. And then you get to hook up with some great guys like these guys, like Urethane, and they get to really showcase what you can do. And then like you already know the videos, you know what their vibe is, and you know the video guy. So like it's really cool, and you get to see that the stuff work together like that. So congrats on that. I love seeing people genuinely happy like you are. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's been fun. And what's crazy now, too, it's like before I would spend hours like making something look super rad, but now the way like social media is and stuff, people really just care about you picking up a cell phone and like just doing something super simple. Like you don't even need to spend hours and hours trying to like make something look rad. I still love doing that stuff. Like there's certain things I'm like would like to take time and make sick, but yeah, dude, it's been a lot of fun, man. I'm just stoked.
Yeah, that's one thing I try to teach my clients. And like when I was director of marketing for a label, and with all the bands I would work with, I would tell them, like, nobody wants their rock stars to be rock stars anymore. They want them to be the person next door. They want to be able to relate to them, because everything's so fucking shitty. We want to be able to be like, hey, maybe that could be me. They wanted something attainable, so they don't want to see these glammed up everything's from the stage. They want to see you sitting there waiting for your coffee. They want to see you before you've had coffee in the morning. They want to see your real people. But yeah, it's still fun to put that, actually do some video production. But yeah, the way social media is, like, they want it to be relatable. They want to see their rock star as their next door neighbor.
Yeah, totally. Tim does a good job.
That's what like punk rock is all about, though. That's why I got into it as a kid, was because it was accessible, and it was like you could go hang out with the guys that just played, and you could pick up a guitar and do anything you want. It was like no boundaries and no borders. So that's how it should be.
Oh, exactly. I can't even name how many bands back in the mid to late 90s I stood outside like the Alumni House or the Pit in Rockford and sitting there smoking cigarettes and didn't even realize it was the band that was going to be headlining that night, because I just showed up because it was a show. I mean, it's just looking back, some of the bands I got to meet and stuff just blows my mind back in the day, because they walked around, they'd watch the show, and then they'd be up there and they'd be standing next to you in the crowd, because I think all the best musicians are more fans than they are artists. And I think no matter how big you get, you still got artists that you geek out over. No matter who you are, there's going to be those people like, oh my God, that was so and so. Like you'll even see it like on the red carpet and stuff like that, where these famous celebrities are like starstruck by other people. And it's always kind of fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with somebody about that yesterday, and like, especially younger kids and younger generations getting into this idea of like breaking out of whatever kind of introverted shell they may have when they're out in those social settings, because everybody that we've been able to kind of rub elbows with, we've grown up listening to and going to their shows and seeing on big stages and big festivals and stuff like that. But you get to spend a few days, a few weeks with these guys, even a couple hours. It, like Tim said, all of a sudden that accessibility becomes so much more visible. And I think it's something that I definitely had to kind of work through, instead of being like, oh, fuck, it's that guy, I don't want to go talk with him. It's just like, go talk with them, go ask for a phone number, see what you can get. Like, worst thing that they're going to say is no, and may happen the next time.
Without a doubt, that's how that's how I'm doing what I'm doing now, is networking. I just, cold call, literally back in the day, pick up a phone. What's the worst they could do? Ignore you? Or tell you no. I mean, I'm always the guy. I could work a crowd better from the crowd than I could the stage. That's why I'm the marketing guy. I go in there and shake hands. I make sure everyone I speak to knows they're the most important person in the room. Making those connections with people and being able to talk to people. You never know who the next person is going to lead to. And it's just nice. It just be nice to people. Like, it's not totally. It shouldn't be something we have to tell people, but
yeah, for sure.
So Mario, you were talking about the video production and some tricks that you were thinking about doing coming up. I caught part of it on another podcast, and we were talking a little bit about it before. We were talking about things everything kind of went from you had to be super polished because of how much content started to be made. You wanted to stand out, but now the phone shoots 4K. So, like, now you got to do something different because you put it in cinematic mode and you got a music video, run it through Canva. So now what's a video producer supposed to do? So what's some of these, I know you were talking about doing some tricks with some high aid. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so actually I work for advertising marketing agencies doing all the video production stuff. So I'm used to like doing like big brand commercials and stuff. And having that polish, like even like remember back in the old school days, like music videos were super polished and like, but what I'm seeing now is like you were saying earlier, people want to relate to it, right? So just the cell phone thing, nothing, no fancy editing, nothing is like what people want to see. They just want to see some basic shit. Like it doesn't have to be super polished. But in the other podcast, when I was talking about the high 8 cameras, I was saying we should shoot a music video. Instead of doing like, you could get filters and plugins and stuff to do the high 8 look and stuff, but actually filming it organically on the camera would be like super fun to do and stuff like that, to do like a video with and so on. So I was telling like maybe we should do maybe for one of our new songs we'll film the whole video using the high 8 cameras and not just using a filter to make it look like that.
That would be awesome because
sure.
obviously your target market is us other old guys, and
Right.
we're gonna love. I mean, nostalgia is hot because
Totally.
Gen X loved nostalgia because it was the best part of our childhoods was other things other than family and friends usually.
Yeah.
So we try to buy our childhoods back once we're adults and have adult money. So I mean, definitely that's your target market's gonna love it. I think I would love to see that. Would be pretty cool.
But even bringing like the young kids, because like if you think about it, how old are you when you first discovered like your first favorite bands? You're a teenager, right? Like, but even now I'm seeing like young kids, like my friends' kids, posting stuff with that old, like getting back into like punk rock stuff and pop punk song. Like I see like kids that are 17, 18 be like, oh, I love Strung Out or I love Face to Face. Like all these old bands are getting reintroduced to my friends' kids seeing it. And then I'm seeing like the videos they're posting on their Instagrams and stuff with like the high filters and that whole vibe and the look and feel of the 90s stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like history repeats itself, right? Everything goes back in circles. Just kind of find a new way of like reintroducing it.
Oh, it absolutely does. Like, oh, guys, a couple of years ago, well, it was right after we bought this house here. I grew up on an hour north here, but we used to come down here to Beloit to go to shows all the time. And I saw a ton of great bands at the Alumni House. And after we'd moved, my son asked me to add a song to his playlist, and it was a Descendants song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God, do I got a story for you. I'm like, I actually saw the lead singer play with the Parasites at the Alumni House. And I'm like, and your buddy's dad is the one that put on the show. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it was so fun and he's a Weezer fan now too. I mean, we're from Wisconsin. I think it's mandatory. It's that or Steve Miller, so he chose Weezer like a smart person. And so it's fun to see it coming back around. It's not just from like he always listens to what we listen to, but he's 19, so he's listening to the stuff he does too. But yeah, it's fun seeing him the stuff come back around, and the fact they're finding it on YouTube blows me away. And video games. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Tony Hawk soundtrack, Pro Skater soundtrack's basically Warped Tour. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, I mean.
Hey, and Urethane has a song on the new Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice plug. There you go. What song's on there?
Dog Years.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see how video game. Well, I mean, I believe I heard a statistic. The video game industry makes more money than the music industry and film industry combined, hands down. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, and the video game stuff's crazy.
The fact that there's no movie soundtracks anymore because everything's streaming and nobody's going to put them on vinyl. So, I mean, I remember growing up, movie soundtracks were so important. That's how you found new bands a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that was the only compilations, unless you're making your own tapes off the goddamn radio. I
Yeah.
mean, back before even burning CDs or trying to download stuff. So it was so important back then, and seeing how much video games have taken over with that it's cool because people like, God, I was working with a band last year and they covered Lit. And I'm like, these guys are in their 20s, and I'm like, one of your dads listen to them? Like, because I'm like, how the fuck's a 23-year-old know who Lit is? And they're like, oh, it's whatever video game. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I feel so old. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about the video game soundtracks because I was never a gamer.
Yeah, I just actually just filmed with Lit this past weekend. I actually went on tour with them. I went on tour with Lit for a month back a few years ago. They're like the coolest dudes ever, man. I love those guys. But a lot of their they're starting to build a whole new audience again too through social media. Then all these like young kids are starting to get turned on by Lit. But you were mentioning something about video games too. A lot of it too now is like the streaming, like Twitch and those gaming platforms. Like it's good to get on that and play like while they're playing the video games, have like their bands playing in the background. A lot of bands are getting noticed that way too.
Well, and I've actually, one of my clients is a video game developer, and it's amazing to see his video games are music related actually. So but a lot of other developers, especially indie games, they don't even they know how important the music is in games, but they just don't know how to get the bands there. So bands, if you're out there listening, just frickin' start looking up video game developers. If you want your music in a game, start contacting them. Like everybody needs music for their game.
The talent.
I love it. He shows up late when that's perfect. The talent finally shows up.
I just wanted to show up to make sure that Dylan had the best looking shirt on out of all of you guys, and he's still as well dressed as I would expect. So I'm gonna take off.
Job done.
Hi everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Okay.
Do you want to quickly introduce yourself for anybody that doesn't know?
My name's Chad. I'm the bass guy in the Urethane musical group.
So talk about with nowadays, like kids be able to reach out to the artists now because of social media. I mean, I just somebody suggested, hey, you should get a hold of the guys from Urethane, and I'm like, you think they'd even reply? And I mean, like, hit you up on Instagram and here you guys are. The world's such a small place now. It blows my mind. Like last year on the other podcast I did, I had two guys from Guar on my show. Like I was sitting there, I'm like 15-year-old me's freaking out because 49-year-old me was freaking out. Like the fact you could just reach out to people nowadays because it's such a small world, and it helps put the fans in contact with their the artists and stuff, and it's just so cool to see. Because like I said, man, no matter how big you are or who you are, you're a fan of somebody, and when you get to make those connections with the fans, those are the fans that are going to share your posts, they're going to buy your merch, they're going to buy tickets, they're going to show up. So it's a different world now. Like I hate social media for personal reasons. Like I don't use it much for personal stuff, but all my business stuff is done through social media because all marketing is digital marketing. Mario, you know that, and all digital marketing is social media marketing at this point. So, I mean, for business-wise, it's brilliant. My God, if you know what you're doing, it's so easy. But on the personal side,
absolute must.
It is. I mean, Instagram is the best networking tool I've seen. Like, fuck LinkedIn or any of those. Like, get on Instagram and start finding people you know and trust and can use as litmus tests and say, like, I know they agree with my morals and political beliefs. Anyone they follow is someone I should probably know, or it's okay for me to know, and you can just go down your list and, I mean, God, if I had networking tools like this 30 years ago, oh my God.
Yeah, it's even better
actually,
now.
Like, Facebook has been like the sleeping dog that I've noticed. Like I don't really like Facebook, but that has been huge for us in terms of like spreading content and stuff. Like Instagram's great, but I'm really surprised at how well Facebook.
Well, and the
Gets it
crazy
out
thing
there.
about the Facebook stuff too is like
Facebook is
if you consider the age range of, we'll say, our target demographic, it's a lot of people that started on your live journals and your MySpaces and shit like that. So many of them may have an Instagram that they don't use very often, and it's the Facebook they're bringing up all the time. And so, just like Tim said, you know, if you're looking at the numbers that we have running on it, the Instagram's doing well, and even in this rebuilding stage, but Facebook dwarfs it in a lot of cases, which is pretty crazy.
It's funny
Yeah,
how,
I was
like,
gonna say what to add on to what Dylan's saying. If there was any like new bands starting out, the best advice would be to build up your Instagram and tour as much as possible, and then erase your Instagram and start over. It's proven to be just really, really helpful. So like if everybody
really
did
want
that, they would be really motivated to really press what they're doing. It's awesome.
YouTube's another one too that we need to start pushing up on, because I was talking to one of my buddies who does he worked with a bunch of labels, but he's like, dude, YouTube is kind of where it's at, to be honest.
Yeah.
And but we haven't pushed our YouTube yet, which we should start, definitely do that.
Most definitely.
Well, like Tim and Dylan
TikTok is
said,
whack now.
yeah, like Tim and Dylan said, Facebook, if your target audience is Gen X or older millennials, Facebook is still the main one. If you can just remember that 90% of it is right-wing bots, so don't just let the bots argue with themselves. Stay the fuck out of the comment section for your own mental health.
Oh my God.
Facebook is
The
great
comments-
if
The comments in Facebook versus the comments in Instagram are so night and day. Like, there's so much like shit talking on Facebook, and like Instagram is so much more kind. It's funny to read like the same post, and you'll get just hate mail on Facebook, and the other one's like, everybody's like, oh, this is great.
Well, Threads is another really good one. I like that. Threads is great. Maybe I've just got it curated enough, but my entire feed is nothing but just militant leftists and artists and the weird artists, and I absolutely love it. It's all positive. If any troll shows up, man, they just get destroyed. So if you're not on Threads, get on there. It's real easy to curate a real safe and fun environment. That's the only one I really get on for like actual like enjoyment to like scroll through, other than like doing business stuff on the other platforms. Threads is cool.
I heard a lot about Threads, but I try not to get on social media. I mean, here and there, I'm so busy doing other stuff, but like, yeah, I heard a lot of good things about Threads, actually.
So you can,
I'm old. I didn't know that he was saying Threads. I thought you said Freds. I thought you had some new like underground thing that you're working on. I was excited.
Some clothes.
I wish. As soon as Tom brings back MySpace, Gen X is just going to disappear off all other platforms, man. Just like, show your ID. You got to be from between this age and this age. You're not getting on MySpace. Just give us a spot.
Dude, MySpace was awesome back in the day. I used to book
100%.
full tours on
I used to meet
MySpace.
girls. I used to book tours.
MySpace
was great.
We got to learn how to do. We got to learn HTML
100%.
and coding.
100%.
For fuck's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ, I had the coolest page.
Tom introduced us to so many lovely people.
And broke a lot of relationships with that
my
wonderful
favorite
top
was we
8.
got to rate
Exactly.
our friends. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, who pissed me off today? Oh shit, I'm not in the top 8 today. I better give them a call.
Yeah.
So what have you guys got coming? Oh, first I got to tell you, the fucking Christmas song. My God, I listened to it today. I love Christmas music. My family hates it. I don't blame them. It's just my thing. From November 1st until Christmas Day, I listen to Christmas music. I still do it when there's nobody in the house or in the car. So like that song is absolutely awesome. I just like when it's stuff like that, they let me get away with it. They get real sick of Mariah Carey, but that's on them, not me.
Didn't Bad Religion put out a Christmas album?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should.
It's cool doing Christmas stuff. Like we'd actually talked about it for like a couple years and just never really had the time to spend and work it out. But what's kind of cool is like, say your band stops playing, you know, at least once a year you're gonna pop up on somebody's radar. So it's like it makes your band like the herpes band. Like once you think they're gone, they just come back once a year and treat you right. You know, it's a good time.
I always say that the day after St. Patrick's Day.
Everybody loves Christmas music.
I honestly do. I love Christmas music. I listen to the Sesame Street Christmas album probably once a week, all year, every year. I've got it on vinyl. I've got it on streaming. I absolutely love the Sesame Street Christmas album. Because, again, Gen X, that was my childhood. I remember sitting around listening to that thing all the time.
Remember the MTV with like Run DMC Christmas? Like that was cool.
Christmas in Hollis. Oh God, I can hear it right now. That was a great one. I loved that.
It's also really good content to drop during the holidays because nobody's really dropping records or anything during that time. So it's like a way to sneak in some content.
So it's super easy to just pop one or two of those things out. We played a show in Arizona just before Christmas, and it was in our set list for the first time. Like we hadn't really tried it out or whatnot, and surprisingly enough, I think it was the craziest part of our show for the crowd. Like it was just a giant circle pit the whole time we played, and where we were giggling like we're playing Christmas. Look at them! Like that was the song live for sure.
Everybody loves covers.
Well, everybody loves covers, and there's also something just when it comes to like holiday music and things like that, or covers, or like one of my favorite albums was the Saturday Morning Cartoon album. They had all the bands doing. I mean, Wax's version of Happy Happy Joy Joy still brings me so much joy. Like there's just something childlike. So like Christmas music, and you get to hear it from a good music that you'll be listening to anyways. There's just something so free, and like I said, with the way the world is now, it's fun to be able to forget everything. It brings you back to being a kid when shit didn't matter. So it's cool that you guys do stuff like that. I appreciate it. I know the rest of the fans do as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Now I'm gonna have to learn the Christmas song because I don't even know it.
It's a quick study. You'll be all right.
Or you could dress up as Santa or something and hand out packages.
Yeah, while they play it.
No, Mario needs to figure out a handful more that we do for next year.
What, Christmas songs? You guys got more Christmas songs?
Yeah, why not?
I could see a 30-minute set. Why not? Just do a 30-minute set. Get up there all dressed as elves and shit.
It would be awesome.
Where did Dylan go? He left.
Dylan's like, I am not doing any more Christmas songs. I'm out of here.
He had to pee-pee.
He's trying to log into his MySpace.
To go back to what you were asking, though, what we have planned, we're going to do a full length, right, Tim? We'll let Tim take that one.
We are. The plan now is end of April, beginning of May. We're going to go in the studio with Cameron Webb again. And we are going to work on a full length. So hopefully that'll be out September, something, summer. Hopefully summer.
What have you got for tour plans this year?
We have a couple of there he is. We have a couple of short runs coming up. We're gonna go out to Phoenix and Vegas and play the Punk Rock Museum. And then in June we're gonna do a West Coast run. And then kind of probably we're still waiting back to hear from Fest in Florida, so that's in October. And there might be a tour out of that. So.
It always cracks me up. I'm from Southern Wisconsin, so last year when I was working for the record label, a lot of the roster played Fest, and I was like, "Well, when is that?" And people were like, "Oh, it's like the end of October." And I'm like, "Who the fuck schedules a festival? Like, you could have a foot of snow." I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, that's right. Other people don't have seasons. I forgot, like,
Yeah.
Wisconsin, you can't book shit from December to April. Because even in bars, in clubs, unless you're a bigger band, you're playing venues that go all year, bars don't book. They don't even book cover bands and shit or nothing during the winter months. And then, because a lot of them, the only time they do have bands, it's outside beer gardens and stuff like that. So, yeah, so it always blows my mind about, like, talking about their winter tours. And I'm like, what? How do you do that?
Yeah, and Florida will be nice in October. That's like a
Yeah.
nice to go to Florida.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
Feels
did
it's hot in
Western
October.
Canada. We did Western Canada in October, and that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, Canada,
was
October
cool.
would doesn't sound like fun. I mean, it's March here in Wisconsin. It was 70 degrees last week. We got 1.5 feet of snow this week. They got like over 2 feet north of us, so I'm not too. But it'll be melted this weekend. So there you go.
Yeah, it's 93 degrees at my house right now.
I like that. That's how it was. I used to live in New Mexico, and it would snow one day, and then the next day it would be sunny and warm. It's like, what the hell's going on? But I love hot weather.
See, I still remember it was my 6th birthday, I think. My birthday's in April, and I was so mad because we had planned. My friends were all coming over, and then it snowed the night before. This is like almost the end of April. I was so mad. Woke up on my birthday. It was 70 degrees in the green grass. The snow had already melted. We were outside in shorts. Fucking Wisconsin. Midwest. You don't like the weather. Wait an hour. People joke about it, but it's not a joke. It's ridiculous.
Midwest has a lot of music. If you you're into like the Midwest emo, post-hardcore type stuff, there's a lot of good bands out there.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up on a lot of the Midwest punk, from Chicago to Minneapolis, especially a lot of like the Profane Existence, anarcho-punk stuff back in the day. That was, I mean, Jesus, Ass Rash, O Rotten, Filth, Suicidal Supermarket Trolleys, like all the old crust stuff. I grew up with a lot of that. Boris the Sprinkler.
Yeah, I remember Boris the Sprinkler.
God, I'm trying to. There's so many. Wesley Willis. I don't know how many times I got to see Wesley play. Like, I mean, especially right near the state line. So we had a lot of from like Minneapolis, Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Chicago. So much talent, man. Quincy Punks. Just some great bands.
Like Braid. Did you ever like Braid?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Wesley Willis was on Alternative Tentacles, right? Jello Biafra's label.
Yeah, towards the end. But most of his stuff, nobody knows who owns the rights to any of it.
Yeah.
So it's nice. I found a bootleg that had like 40 songs on it. I was so blown away because there's like no vinyl of his, because I never had money back in the day when he had records and stuff at shows, so I was never able to buy merch back then. So trying to track it down now, you're talking hundreds of dollars for a 7-inch.
Right. It's like when I used to buy Gigi Allen videos off of eBay. the live concerts of the VHS tapes.
Well, yeah. Now that's the type of stuff nowadays. You'll either find it for like $1 on eBay, and then the next day it's up to $200 because somebody realized what it was worth.
Dude,
Everything.
Gigi Allen, Merle, he sells all that stuff now.
I've got a bunch of stuff. I bought stuff from Merle. I've got one of his dreadlocks. I mean, how do you not, man? I got a Gigi tattoo on my ribs and stuff. So like, it is what it is. We all forget to grow up.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hey, I got one more question for you guys. So, what main reason I like to do, actually, all my podcasting started years ago. I had a podcast with a buddy, and it was all based around favorite stories. Because, man, we've all got those stories that we've told 1,000 times. You probably each got stories that the other ones are so sick of hearing. But it's your favorite story, something that it's either something stupid, something silly, or just something it makes you smile. You'll think about it for days after. And now you got a whole new audience. I want to hear what's one of those stories from being a musician that that you'll never forget.
Oh man.
Other than being a guest on my show. I mean, other than that.
A favorite story of being a musician? I got to be a guitar double. What was it? It was a TV show, and I used to live in Albuquerque. I did a lot of movies and stuff, like extra work. I can't remember the TV show, but I was the hands. The main character was a guitar player, so I was actually the guy that would play the actual real guitar for the guy. I was like the stunt double, but for the guitar playing. And I can't remember. It was back in 2003, and I can't remember what the TV show. Damn. So that story's not going to be fun. Oh, I got one. I played in Beer Fest. I was a drummer in Beer Fest, that movie Beer Fest, which was pretty fun.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
During the competition scene. So if you see a guy with, like, my hair was like this, but it's from 20 years ago, playing a big bass drum during the drinking competition at the Beer Fest, that's me.
Gotta go
I'm gonna have to
now.
watch that now.
So being like a brand new band and having Steve in our band, you know, he was able to put us, you know, in a position to where we were able to do we had a lot of cool opportunities really early on. So we, you know, for me, I was just playing pretty much with my buddies in their bedrooms, you know, for the last 10 years. And then all of a sudden, you know, we got to do like the Flogging Molly cruise and you know, we got to play the opening of the new Tony Hawk game, and Tony Hawk introduced us. Like there's been a lot of moments in the last few years that I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So
Our second show was the main stage of Punk Rock Bowling.
yeah, so just wild shit, you know, all of a sudden it's like thousands of people out there and we've only played together for like a month. And it's crazy.
You mentioned Guar, and it always makes me think about it. I was in DC a long time ago, playing this tiny little, it was an Indian food restaurant that they were throwing shows at, and buddy of mine in the other band that we were on tour with went down the street to go eat Chinese food. And this wasn't a Chinese restaurant. This was a very clearly a takeout place. And just sitting in this place eating food, listening to them scream at people on the phone, watching kids run down the street covered in Guar dick blood is something that's a very vivid memory for me.
That's awesome. When you said you had Guar on your show, did you have Brent on there?
No, I had Hunter on first, and then I had Matt, who does. So I've had both. I had two of the three Destructos. I've had Techno Destructo and Sawborg Destructo.
Rad.
Yeah, Techno Hunter was pretty cool. That blew my mind. That was kind of fun. That because we did shot 2 episodes, and then he's like, "Do you mind if I get into costume and do some as character?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that's cool." So I get to sit there and interview Techno Destructo, and he's when he's in costume, like I thought I'd get like a fun little banter. No, he's Techno. He walks in and it's oh my god, I laughed so hard, and then he knocks his coffee cup over, and in character he goes, "Oh no!" And I go back and watch it over and over. It's so goddamn funny. So I edited it together so Techno was interrupting the podcast and interrupting the interview and stuff. So yeah, so that was like, and then at one point I even mentioned, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I'm sitting here at work talking to Guar through a screen. I'm Mark from Empire Records. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's rad. Yeah, my buddy Jeremy, he played drums in my old band. He played in U.S. Bastards with Brent. I don't know if you remember that band, U.S. Bastards, but that was like his other band. And I know he does Guar now, but
yeah, they got a couple really good. I won't even say side projects, but ones that they all came from, ex-cops, and there's a couple. I mean, guys, still, man, everybody misses Dave because the Dave Brocky Experience is still one of like most underrated bands. I freaking loved that. That was just some good, fun punk rock noise. That shit was great back then. I miss it. Still listen to it.
Hey, to add on to something that you were saying earlier, it's pretty funny. I owned and operated a studio out here for a lot of years, and I had this guy come in the studio that wanted to record a theme song for the Girl Scouts, because the Girl Scouts don't have a theme song for Girl Scout cookie season. That's the caliber of musician I was recording at the time, and he's from Boston. He has this total whacked out Boston accent that's like super super deep. You can't like hardly understand the guy. And he was asking what we do, asking about my bands, and he's like, "Oh, you play punk rock, huh, dude?" I can't do the Boston accent, but he's like, "Yeah, some friends that I grew up with, that I was in a big band in New Hampshire years ago, like in the '70s, and we were big. And then our drummer started listening to punk rock, and he started doing stupid things, and he started eating shit, and he named himself Gigi." So he was the guitar player of their first band, Malpractice, Brian John, and he went on telling us all these crazy stories about, yeah, him and his brother Merle. We used to call him Merle the Girl, like all these crazy stories. But I had to sit and listen to that lunatic forever. That's my my addition to your Gigi Allen thing.
Didn't Gigi Allen and Screeching Weasel, like Ben Weasel and Gigi, have like a beef to each other or something?
Surprised me because I can't imagine anybody being able to get along with either one of them. So
Yeah, I mean, everybody else in his life besides Ben Weasel probably invited him over for Thanksgiving dinner. And was like,
yeah, and well, both ways there. I've heard enough about both of them. It was probably just. I'm surprised there wasn't a mutual admiration there.
Yeah, and there's actually a club out here called Brick by Brick, and in the early '90s, late '80s, it was called the Spirit Club. It's where like a lot of us started playing. Smelly from NoFX got like a summer deal during Quiet Times, being like the guy he was like the backdoor guy / clean up at the end of the night. So in that hated DVD, there's a scene from that that show where he's just throwing shit all over the place, and it was actually Smelly from NoFX had to clean that up. That was at our club out here. And you actually see Fat Mike. You can see Fat Mike and Jello Biafra watching the show from the crowd.
Oh, that's awesome! I love seeing those shots and stuff like that. I read all the time. I just any music industry book, bios, and stuff like that. I love, and I always love seeing it. You'll see the band, then they'll do like a zoom in. You're like watching this band, and here's whoever. And then the next picture's them on stage, and who's over here? It's somebody else, and just watching how much everybody influences everybody else. And right back to what we were talking about. You know, if you're not on stage, you're still a fan, and you're sitting there watching the other bands, and that's where the next bands come from.
I mean, when we met, Chad and I met Bouncing Souls the first tour that we did out in Europe, and it was exactly that. We ran into Brian, and he goes, "Oh, what band are you guys from?" I was like, "Oh, Urethane." He goes, "Oh, I fucking heard something. I was getting off my bus," and I was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll go check it out." And it's like, I jumped up there, and you guys were fucking great. It was super awesome. So it's like, you know, kind of going back to what I was saying too about kind of getting yourself out there. Everybody is still fans. You know, they're all still fans. They're all willing to check it out. And if you got something, you know, the right people will show up.
Actually, the only time I've never been a big live music person. Mainly, you got to travel for everything here in southern Wisconsin. You got to drive 2 hours to get to any good shows. But back when I used to go to shows all the time, the local stuff, I saw Bouncing Souls. It was like probably '95 or so, and I've still got a picture. Their tour van at the time was a Jewish community housing van. An old Jewish community housing van that they used. And I got a picture of them loading gear into it. And it's 30 years ago. I'll have to send you the picture. It's freaking hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, there's awesome. My Bouncing Souls story. All right. Well, I know you guys got to get going here. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you guys. Any last words of advice you want to pop off? Especially the talent, you've always got something. What you got?
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Never look directly into the sun.
That's a good one.
I ain't got enough. Check us out on all streaming platforms and stuff.
Yes.
Never eat chili before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Don't trust the first
sign
wife.
up though, like to encourage everybody to to get on our social media and follow us on all the platforms, because as soon as we hit that 25,000 mark, we're shutting her down and starting over.
You heard it here. Get out.
It
Get
keeps
on
you real,
your
you know?
things. To get their Instagram back up. We're gonna see how fast we make this thing disappear. Third time's a charm. That's what they say. All right.
Exactly.
Well,
more on a
guys,
serious
thank
note,
you.
like for what I was going to say is like for a lot of these younger bands, there is anything that we can impart that we've learned in these last couple months is just be consistent, just show up, just be in front of people, go stay high, shoot the fucking videos, post your shit, don't worry about it, nobody gives a fuck, just do your thing, have fun.
Post once a day.
Yeah, post once a day, record everything.
It really works.
Yes, record
Consistency is
everything.
key.
If what? Yeah, that's why I tell my clients, I'm like, if you got a couple hours on a Sunday, you could shoot content for a month. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, you know, I mean, I do it. You'll see, I've got 4 different walls in the studio, and I'll come down here and change shirts and shoot promos and get stuff done for 2 weeks because I got an extra hour to get stuff done. You got to, and yeah, it is. It's consistency. You got to post every day if you want to hit the algorithm and keep hitting it. I mean, but it's what you got to do. But I mean, hey, there's worse jobs.
Everybody's got bite-sized attention spans. If you're not consistent, you're gone in a second. So just keep it rolling. Just keep doing you.
Yep. Absolutely. And get out there, and when you are on social media, make sure you're interacting with their stuff too. Because we all got that human nature of like, well, I'm not going to like their post. They haven't liked any of mine. I mean, so when you're on at the end of the night by 5 p.m., get off your personal one, get on the band page, and go through and start liking and commenting on other people's stuff. Then you'll start hitting the algorithm even more, and then they'll pay attention to yours because it is human nature. We all do that. Like they don't say shit to me. I ain't gonna support them. We can't help it. It's what we do.
I mean, most of the shit talkers that we get probably just don't expect anybody to comment back, and the second the fucking band comments back, the shit talk usually goes right away. So don't worry about the fucking noise.
It's just gonna go back to the old days, dude. CDs and vinyl and cassette tapes are coming back. Social media is gonna die. So,
hand flyering every single show.
Yeah,
all that shit.
I still think that's cool. Like hand flyering
Still works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I'm setting up. That's one of the things I got on my to-do list this week. Is I'm setting up a street team for one of my clients. I mean, it's what it's going back to, and it's starting it through a Facebook group. I mean, look at that. Find a good use for social media. Get out there and form connections. Like it is community. If you got to be a part of it, at least do it for something positive.
100%.
Or to talk shit about someone that's negative. I mean, that's okay too. Yeah. I don't mind that.
Why else?
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you again. Everybody say thank you to Urethane. Not that they can hear you right now, but all right.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Appreciate it.
All right. Everyone, thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Please give me some feedback. I'd love to know what I'm doing right and especially what I'm doing wrong. And most importantly, please have fun and be nice to each other, because if you're not, there's no fucking point. I will see you next time.
Later.
Later.